industry and the fossil fuel industry through her super PACs. I am very proud of the fact that we have received 5 million individual contributions, more than any other candidate in the history of the United States at this point in an election. So I think that the response that we're getting from the people in Arizona and the people in this country is a strong one. They want real change in this country, not status quo politics. Thank you very much.
Would you accept the spot as vice president?
Thank you very much.
First candidate has ever walked away.
You have 4 minutes. You have more than 4 minutes. I'll walk away. You persisted.
I'm a reporter. It's what we do.
Don't say I walked away. You had 4 minutes. How much time was it? More than 4 minutes. No? That was the time that was allowed.
Fair. Not going to squabble over this. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Hello everyone, Tommy Khan here with your Fox 10 News Now coverage of the Bernie Sanders rally in Phoenix, Arizona. We are about an hour and 6 minutes away from officially kicking off that rally, but we already have live coverage from inside the event. In fact, Fox 10's very own Marcy Jones is live at the event. I'm actually going to check in with her in just a second, so let me just go ahead and pull up this video for you now, and we will be hearing from Marcy in just a sec. We're looking at a live look inside the event right now. Marcy, if you can hear me, just step in front of the camera and let us know how the event feels so far.
Somnia, hello! Okay, so we are here. As you can see, the crowds are still kind of trickling in. We've got all walks of life here, and it reminds me of more of a music festival. We've got a guy right here in the front row with a Rolling Stone shirt on. Really diverse crowd, but you know what? A lot of people here say that they are hot, they're tired from standing out in the sun, but they are very, very hopeful. Even though he is trailing behind Clinton in the polls, they still say that they are optimistic and they think Bernie can get the job done. So Senator Sanders is not supposed to take the stage until 7 o'clock tonight. That's not a guarantee, but that's what we're being told. But right now we're just seeing a lot of signs. We see some clever signs out here, actually. I saw a girl holding one up called Bernie Sandwiches. It was actually the senator's face on a sandwich. And not only ones in support of Senator Sanders, but also ones disparaging towards Donald Trump. I haven't seen any other anti-Republican signs, just specifically dump Trump ones. So that's kind of the scene going on here. How's it looking back at the studio? Probably not as busy, huh?
No, it's not as busy, but I know that we have a lot of viewers already tuning in, really excited to see Bernie Sanders. I'm wondering if our numbers for Bernie will surpass our numbers for Trump. We had thousands of people tune in for Trump this morning and this afternoon. It's been pretty crazy.
Absolutely, and you know what, I was talking to a few people out here and they were saying that they're kind of annoyed because a lot of people are reporting the numbers, 1,600 delegates for Clinton and about 800 some odd for Sanders, and they're saying that everybody is counting the super delegates right now, which they're annoyed with because they said, look, we're just counting the regular ones, you know, it's not over until it's over, until they're actually counted through the primaries. So you know what, people out here say that they're still really, really hopeful for Senator Sanders.
Marcy, I'm looking at all the crowd that's, getting into the event. How many people you think are going to attend this event? I know there were like almost 10,000 a couple days ago, right?
Yes, and you know what? I asked a few volunteers, and I got the feeling that when I asked them, they were told not to say anything, to be totally zip-lipped. I was like, can you just give me a ballpark? Is it as big as a ballpark? And they literally could not tell us anything. They just kept saying no comment, no comment. I'm looking out at the crowd. There are a lot of people here, and there, like you said before, when you had that shot outside, there are a ton of people outside. I'm really bad at math, but there are definitely there are thousands of people here right now. Oh, look at those signs.
Is that Batman?
Look at, people get so creative with signs out here. It's so funny. Yes, there's a Batman sign, and a lot of people have these shirts on, you know, of course, with his signature fluffy white hair on. That is kind of the merch that's being sold right now. But these signs, do you see that sandwich sign that I was talking about earlier? So funny. Yeah, so people are definitely getting creative with their signs and support.
Oh my gosh, and then that's Hillary Clinton. Is Hillary Clinton supposed to be Two-Face? Is that what I'm understanding based on that?
It is as Two-Face, yes. Wow. Look at that one.
Oh, this must be.
And
such a
you know what,
spectacle.
Samnia, we're not going to show what I'm going to talk about, but there is a young woman here without a top on. She does have pasties on, but she's all about free speech and free other things. So, you know, the crowd is definitely very eclectic today.
Well, viewers who are tuning in right now, I guess you have an hour to get to the event, right? If you want to see that in person, I assume. They can still make their way out there?
Yes, you do. Yeah, and they're still letting people in, even though they have to screen everybody, make sure everybody is safe to be let in. But yeah, they're letting people in. They've got some hot dog stands set up outside. So I think Bill and I are going to go hit that up because I heard that we're not going to be allowed to get food in a little bit.
All right. Well, thanks for giving us this live feed. We're going to continue to bringing these live images courtesy of your camera. Feel free to step away, though, and get that hot dog. I know you can get hungry sometimes when you're out all day reporting.
Absolutely. Thanks, Samnia. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Marcy. All right, guys, we're going to continue to bring you this feed from inside the venue. That was Fox 10's Marcy Jones reporting. You can find her on Twitter, and make sure to tweet her. Let her know you appreciate her coverage out there. It's pretty hot outside. You always have to appreciate all that the reporters do and the photographers do when they're out reporting the story, given how hot it gets here in Arizona. So Marcy, again, thank you for that. And you can find her, Marcy Jones, Fox 10, on Twitter. Hello everyone, Samia here. I just wanted to say hi and let you guys know that I'm going to go ahead and play Bernie Sanders' rally from a couple nights ago. He held an event in Phoenix on the 15th, so in case you missed it, I'm going to play that for you now while you wait for Bernie Sanders live, who is scheduled to speak in about 30 minutes. Let's go ahead and watch him now.
Phoenix, thank you. This Phoenix, thank you. This is a huge crowd. And this is a loud crowd. Thank you all very much for being here this evening. Let me thank Gilbert Romero. Let me thank Catherine Polino Figueroa Bueno, a young woman, as you know, who saw her parents arrested on television. And what this campaign is about is to making sure those types of things never, ever happen again. I want to thank Makana, and I want to thank Jose Miranda, our state director. Phoenix, are you ready for a political revolution? Are you tired of a handful of billionaires running our economy? Well, if you are, you have come to the right place. You know, what excites me so much as I go around the country is to see the incredible energy of hundreds of thousands of people who love this country but know we can do so much better. We started this campaign at 3% in the national polls. We have come a long way in 10 months. And the reason that we have done as well as we have, the reason that we have defied all expectations, is that we are doing something very radical in American politics. We're telling the truth. the truth is not always pleasant. It's not always what we want to hear. But we cannot go forward unless we deal with the realities of American society today, and that is what we are going to do. Truth number one is that today we have a corrupt campaign finance system with Wall Street and billionaires spending unlimited sums of money, which is undermining American democracy. To my mind, democracy is not complicated. It is one person, one vote. You want to vote for me? Great. You don't? That's okay. But what I do not want to see are billionaires spending unlimited sums of money buying elections and undermining the democracy which has made our country so great. And that is why, together, we are going to overturn this disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court decision. And that is why we are going to move to public funding of elections. And that is why we are going to take on vigorously those cowardly Republican governors who are trying to suppress the vote. And I say to those cowardly Republican governors, if you are afraid of a free and fair election, get out of politics, get another job. When in our country today, we have the Koch brothers and a handful of other billionaires spending hundreds of millions of dollars to elect candidates who represent the wealthy and the powerful. That's not democracy, that is oligarchy. And the people of our country will not tolerate oligarchy. But it is not just a corrupt campaign finance system, it is a rigged economy, an economy in which we have today a grotesque level of income and wealth inequality, which is unsustainable and un-American. Now, the Congress may not talk about it much, the media may not talk about it much, but it is unacceptable to me and the American people when the top 0.1% now owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. It is unacceptable to me that the wealthiest 20 people own more wealth than the bottom half of America, 150 million people. Now, I want to give you one idea, one example of what a rigged economy is about. Turns out that the wealthiest family in this country is the Walton family of Walmart. Turns out that the wealthiest family in America who owns Walmart pay their workers wages that are so low that many of those workers have to go on Medicaid and food stamps in order to survive. And what a rigged economy is about is that the middle class taxpayer pays more in taxes to subsidize the employees of the wealthiest family in America. That's a rigged economy. So I say to the Walton family, the wealthiest family in America, get off of welfare, pay your workers a living wage. The United States of America today is the wealthiest country in the history of the world, but almost nobody knows that. And the reason for that is we have people working 2 or 3 jobs. Mom is working, dad is working, the kids are working, marriages are stressed out, parents don't have time to spend with their kids. And despite all of that, 58% of all new income generated goes to the top 1%. You know what we are going to do together? We're going to create an economy that works for all of us, not just the 1%. And we are going to tell the billionaires in corporate America that they are going to have to start paying their fair share of taxes. And when we talk about a rigged economy, we are going to end the absurdity of millions of our people working for $8-9 an hour because you can't make it on $8 or $9 an hour. And that is why we are going to raise the minimum wage to a living wage, $15 an hour. And when we talk about a rigged economy, we're going to end the absurdity of women making 79 cents on the dollar compared to men. And I know that every man in this room will stand with the women in the fight for pay equity. A few weeks ago, I was in Flint, Michigan. And what I observed there and what I heard there was literally beyond my comprehension, and it shook me and upset me enormously. And what I observed there is that children in that city were being poisoned by a water system that had very heavy amounts of lead in it. It is incomprehensible that this is happening in the United States in the year 2016. But it's not just Flint. All across this country, our infrastructure, our water systems, our wastewater plants, our bridges, our roads, our rail system is falling apart. In the United States of America, we should have a first-class infrastructure, and that is what we're going to build. We're going to put $1 trillion into building our infrastructure, and when we do that, we create 13 million decent-paying jobs. What this campaign is about is asking the American people to think outside of the box, outside of the status quo. Think about a nation not where our children are being poisoned by lead in the water, but where we have a cutting-edge infrastructure in roads and in bridges and in rail and in air transport. That's where we have got to go. And this campaign, in terms of the rigged economy, is telling corporate America that we are going to end these disastrous trade policies which are destroying the middle class of this country. No, you cannot continue to shut down plants in America and move to cheap labor countries all over the world. All of us want to help poor people throughout the world. We can do it without destroying the American middle class through disastrous trade policies. So I say to corporate America, you want us to buy your products, start manufacturing those products here in America, not in China. This campaign is about fixing a broken criminal justice system. Once again, I ask you, think outside of the box, outside of the status quo. America should not have more people in jail than any other country on earth. We should not be spending $80 billion a year locking up 2.2 million Americans, disproportionately African American, Latino, and Native Americans. All over this country, we see very high rates of youth unemployment. For white kids, 33%, Latino kids, 36%, African American kids, 51%. What we will do is create jobs and education for those young people. And not more jails and incarceration. And we are going to create a criminal justice system where unarmed people, often minorities, are not shot by police officers. Now, I have worked with police departments all over my state of Vermont and all over this country. The vast majority of police officers are honest, hardworking, and they have a very difficult job.
Hello everyone, I was just showing you some video from the previous Bernie Sanders event in Phoenix from a few days ago. Bernie Sanders holding another event in Phoenix tonight. He is just about 20 minutes away from taking the stage. You guys are looking at a live look at the stage right now. I wanted to cut in because there's a video that is probably going to go viral. I know it's already been viewed on our Facebook page tens of thousands of times. Everyone in the newsroom is talking about this video that was captured by our Fox station out in Tucson of this Trump supporter attacking a Trump protester in the crowd. It's pretty shocking video, and I think a lot of people are surprised for many reasons. I'm going to show the video to you guys, and I want your reaction. You guys can tweet me at SamiaFox10, and let me just pull that up for you, and I will be showing you that video momentarily.
Disgusting guy. Really disgusting. A big wheel. Big wheel. He thinks he's cute. He's a disgusting guy. That is a disgusting guy. Really disgusting. A big wheel. Big wheel. He thinks he's cute. He's a disgusting guy. That is a disgusting guy. Really disgusting. A big wheel. Big wheel.
You guys can see that video again on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Fox10Phoenix. You can see that video there. You can share it with your friends. A lot of people really surprised. Now, what happened was a Trump supporter attacked a protester. That protester was wearing an American flag shirt. Some of the people that I've spoken with here in the newsroom are very surprised by the incident, especially given that the Trump supporter himself, African American, attacking a white protester wearing that American flag shirt. I want your take on this situation, your thoughts on this attack. You guys can tweet me at SamiaFox10. I want to go ahead and read some of your comments here while we wait for Bernie Sanders to take the stage this evening. All right, guys, I want to read some of your tweets. I know some of you tweeting me about that video I showed you earlier of that attack at the Trump rally in Tucson. A couple of people pointing out that there was a woman there. You can see her right there with the white hood. Let's see, Benjamin Coffin saying, yeah, you know what that sign said? He was with the hooded girl. Emotions flare, far worse happens at a sports event over far less. Joe Hawley mentioned he was wearing a Klan hood. Please, I would have decked him too. So the guy who got hit, I don't know if he was wearing the Klan hood, but I believe that they're referencing this woman right here that was wearing the hood. Let's see what else you guys are saying about this incident. Wes is asking what this was the sign he was holding. What did that sign say? Benjamin saying it's almost like they wanted a violent response. The shock and horror. Benjamin saying turn up to a rally in a hood. Don't be surprised if a black dude takes offense. All right, well, in case you missed it, I'm going to go replay it for you now. You can find this whole video on our YouTube page, or sorry, our Facebook page, facebook.com/Fox10Phoenix.
He thinks he's cute. He's a disgusting guy. That is a disgusting guy. Really disgusting. A big wheel. Big wheel.
Getting a tweet now from Ivan saying, Samia, the guy who got hit didn't wear the hood. Please see the video from this angle. Shared this video with me on Twitter. Let me just pull this up for you. This is the video sent to me by Ivan. Here's the other angle.
Big wheel. Big wheel.
All right, so I'm getting more tweets from you guys, some of you in the chat room explaining the situation further. Joe Hawley saying he took off the hood when he was asked to leave. They both had hoods on. Benjamin saying looks like some protesters wanted to say Trump was the KKK. How about earlier, was he wearing the hood before? So, okay, that makes more sense. I could see how a supporter in the crowd may be offended by such a statement. So thank you guys for explaining the situation. Joe, Benjamin, Ivan for sending in this video from another angle. Obviously, it is going to be a video that is getting passed around quite a bit. I'm just seeing it pop up here and there on the internet in the last hour. So I assume this is going to be a video that many people will be sharing over the course of the next 24 hours, because that's how long the news cycle lasts, right? Then something else will happen, and that'll be the next thing people talk about. Anyways, let's get back to that Bernie rally in Phoenix. Bernie Sanders still has not taken the stage yet. People are waiting for him to arrive. He was scheduled to start speaking at 7. Will he start on time? We shall see.
Your secluded nights, I've even seen her maybe once or twice. But is her sweet expression worth more than my love and affection? But this time before you leave my arms and rush
Are you guys feeling the burn? It's my honor and pleasure to introduce to you State Senator Martin Quezada.
Hello, Phoenix. How are you guys doing today? Are you feeling the burn today? All right, I know I am. So, guys, my name is Martin Quesada. I represent District 29 in Phoenix in the State Senate. I'm proud to represent my community. We are a community of hard workers, whether we work in the fields, in the factories, or in the service industry. We are a community of honest people who want to work an honest living and get treated honestly by their government. We are a community of immigrants who came to this country seeking a better life and wanting to make this country better too. Now, my district is a precursor of what all of Arizona will look like in the near future. And Arizona is going to look like what all of America will look like in the near future. We are a strong people. We are a proud people. We are a resilient people. And we are also a people who are unapologetic about our needs for a strong leader. We want a leader who is unapologetic about pushing criminal justice reform. After we continue to see our families destroyed by mass incarceration and privatization. We want a leader who is unapologetic about pushing immigration-friendly policies after our families are torn apart by immigration reform. And we are a people who are unapologetic about wanting a leader who stands for us and our values, not the 1%, not the super PACs, not the Wall Street donors. But folks, we need for you to be unapologetic as well. We need for you to be unapologetic about what you guys want in a leader for this country. We need you to be unapologetic about voting for this man on Tuesday. We need you to be unapologetic about getting your friends and families to vote for him next Tuesday. We need you to rise up and stand behind the man who speaks for us. We need you to rise up and convince your friends and family to vote for this man on Tuesday. We need you to rise up and help Arizona win for Bernie Sanders on Tuesday. Ladies and gentlemen, our senator, the next president of the United States, Bernie Sanders.
Thank you. Whoa. Let me thank all of you. Let me thank all of you. This is a fantastic turnout. Let me thank Senator Quezada for his warm introduction and his touching on some of the major issues facing this state and this country. As I look around here, I see a lot of energy, I see a lot of beauty, I see a lot of enthusiasm. And I see a lot of people who want to transform the United States of America. We began this campaign about 10 months ago. When we began, we were at 3% in the polls, about 70 points behind Secretary Clinton. We had no money, we had no political organization, we didn't have much name recognition. In the last But in the last 10 months, a lot has changed. And the reason I think that we are doing so well, that we have so much energy, that in state after state, we win people 45 years of age or younger, the future of America. A report just came out yesterday, and it said that Bernie Sanders has received more votes from people under 30 than Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump combined. And I get my inspiration, I get my energy from you. I get my energy and inspiration from people who have an idealism, who want to transform this country and make it a lot better than it is today. Now, the reason I believe we have so much energy and we're doing so well is because we're doing something very unusual in American politics. We are telling the truth. Now, as you all know, the truth is not always pleasant. Sometimes it's harsh. Sometimes it's hurtful. But unless we understand the reality in front of us and not shove it under the rug, unless we are prepared to deal with that reality, there is no hope for change. And here is some of that reality. Number one, today we live in a country in which our campaign finance system is corrupt and it is undermining American democracy. And this is no small thing. The concept of democracy is not complicated. What it means is you have one vote, and you have one vote, and you have one vote. What it does not mean is that people with unlimited amounts of money should be able to buy elections. That is not democracy. does not mean that billionaires like the Koch brothers and others should be able to spend $900 million in this campaign cycle to buy politicians who will represent the rich and the powerful. That is not democracy, that is oligarchy. And together, we are going to stand firm. This country will not become an oligarchic society. But it is not just a corrupt campaign finance system which is undermining our democracy. What we are seeing now all over this country are cowardly Republican governors trying to suppress the vote. As a nation, we have one of the lowest voter turnout rates of any major country on earth. Our job is to increase voter turnout, make it easier for people to participate. And yet today, we have Republican governors who are trying in every way imaginable to make it harder for poor people, for people of color, for young people, for old people to participate. And I say to those cowardly governors, if you don't have the guts to participate in free and fair elections, get another job. And if elected president, you can bet your bottom dollar that we're going to have a Department of Justice which will vigorously take on every one of these governors. What I want to see in this country is something simple and straightforward. And that is, if you are 18 years of age or older, you are registered to vote. End of discussion. But in addition to the fact that we have a corrupt campaign finance system, there is something else that we have got to address, and address in a very straightforward way, and that is that we have a rigged economy. Now, the television stations and the corporate media do not deal with this issue very much. But let me tell you what a rigged economy is about. What a rigged economy means is that today the top 0.1% now owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. It means that the 20 wealthiest people in this country now own more wealth than the bottom 150 million, half of our country. And let me give you another example of what a rigged economy is about. Turns out that the wealthiest family in this country is the Walton family, who owns Walmart. As many of you know, Walmart pays wages that are so low that many of its workers are forced to go on Medicaid, food stamps, subsidized housing. What a rigged economy is about is when working people have got to pay more in taxes to provide food stamps for the employees of the wealthiest family in America. That is a rigged economy. And I say to the Walton family, get off of welfare, pay your workers a living wage. And here is another truth that we cannot continue to avoid. In this country today, we have more people in jail than any other country on earth. And I understand that in your state, incarceration is a very big and profitable business. Well, we are going to end that in a number of ways. Number one, we are going to do away with private prisons, private detention centers. It is unconscionable that corporations are making money by locking people up. That's wrong. Number two, we're going to do our best to make sure that when young people in this country can't find a job or can't stay in school, we're going to invest in jobs and education, not jails and incarceration. I want this country, and what this campaign is about is thinking outside of the box. Do not allow the media or anybody else to define for you what is possible. You do that. And what is possible is having the best educated country in the world, not the country with more people in jail. And together, we are going to demilitarize local police departments. Police departments should not look like occupying armies. They should be part of the community, not oppressing the community. We are going to make police departments look like the diversity of the communities they serve. All of us are tired of looking at TV and seeing images of unarmed people being shot by police officers. I'm a former mayor, Burlington, Vermont. All right. And I have worked with police departments for many, many years, and the vast majority of police officers are honest, hardworking, and they have a very difficult job. like any other public official. When a police officer breaks the law, that officer must be held accountable. And a President Sanders Justice Department will investigate every death that takes place in police custody or during apprehension. Criminal justice reform means that we have to take a hard look at the failed war on drugs. Over the last 30 years, millions of Americans have received police records for possession of marijuana. And if you have a police record, it is sometimes very hard to get a job. And if you can't get a job and earn income, you're going to do something that gets you into trouble. Now, right now, under the Federal Controlled Substance Act, marijuana is listed as a Schedule I drug alongside heroin. Now, everybody here knows that heroin is a killer drug. Now, scientists can argue about the pluses and minuses of marijuana, but marijuana is not heroin. And that is why I have introduced legislation to take marijuana out of the Federal Controlled Substance Act. Now, as all of you know, the decision about whether or not marijuana becomes legalized is a state decision, not a federal decision. But I believe that possession of marijuana should not be a federal crime. And when we talk about drugs and the danger of drugs, in my state of Vermont, nearby New Hampshire, and in states all over this country, we are facing an epidemic and a crisis of heroin addiction, of opiate addiction, of people dying every day from overdoses. In my view, we have got to treat substance abuse not as a criminal issue, but a health issue. A revolution in mental health care in this country. When people are struggling with a mental health crisis or with addiction, they should be able to get the treatment they need today, not 6 months from today. Now, let me just take a moment. All of you know that I'm running against Secretary Hillary Clinton. Let me just take a moment to explain or express to you some of the strong differences that we have on important issues. First, when I began this campaign, we had no money, and we had to make a very important decision. Should we establish a super PAC? Well, we agreed with you. This campaign does not represent the interests of the billionaire class or Wall Street. We don't want their money. So we did it another way. And what we did is we reached out to the middle class and working families, and what happened is literally mind-blowing. I could never in a million years believe that this would happen, but as of today, we have received well over 5 million individual contributions. That is more contributions than any candidate in the history of this country at this point in an election. Anybody here know what the average contribution is? That's right, $27. Now, this in itself is revolutionary because it shows that we can run a winning national campaign without being dependent on Wall Street and big money interests. To paraphrase Abraham Lincoln at Gettysburg, this is a campaign of the people, by the people, and for the people. Now, what that means, when you're not dependent on big money interest, you can do what is right for working people. I don't have to worry about some billionaire or Wall Street guy calling me up because we don't have their money, we don't want their money, we don't need their money. Now, Secretary Clinton has chosen to go another route in terms of how she raises money. She has several super PACs. The largest one recently reported that it has raised $25 million in special interest money, $15 million from Wall Street alone. Now, as some of you may also know, Secretary Clinton has given speeches on Wall Street for $225,000 a speech. Now, what I have said is if you're going to be paid $225,000 for a speech, it must be an extraordinarily brilliant speech. It must be a speech that could transform our country and the world. It must be a Shakespearean type speech. And if that speech is so great, let the American people see it. Second issue, all of you know that foreign policy is a very important part of what a president does. The most important foreign policy debate in the modern history of this country took place in 2002. Now, I listened very carefully to what President Bush and Vice President Cheney and all these guys had to say. And they were saying, we got to invade Iraq, we got to invade Iraq, we got to invade Iraq. I didn't believe them. And I voted against that disastrous war. Then Senator Clinton heard the same arguments, read the same information. She voted for that disastrous war. When we talk about why the middle class of this country has been disappearing for 30 years, why many millions of workers today are working longer hours for lower wages, a lot of that has to do with horrific trade policies written by corporate America. Since the year 2001, this country has lost 60,000 factories and millions of decent paying jobs. I have opposed every one of these trade agreements, NAFTA, CAFTA, PNTR with China. Secretary Clinton has supported virtually all of those corporately written trade agreements. Now, one of the reasons that our campaign is doing so well is that we are not listening to big money campaign contributors. We are listening to the American people. And this is what the American people are telling me. If they are workers, they are saying they can't make it on $8 or $9 or $10 an hour. They are tired of working and not going anywhere. And that is why we need to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Now, I understand that you have a governor here who is trying to make it harder to raise the minimum wage. That is exactly the wrong thing to do. This campaign is listening to senior citizens and disabled veterans. And I know that Arizona has a whole lot of men and women who have put their lives on the line to defend us, and we thank them all. But here is the truth. No senior citizen or disabled vet can live on $11,000 or $12,000 a year Social Security. Unbelievably, we got Republicans in Congress who want to cut Social Security. Well, I've got bad news for them. We're not going to cut Social Security. We're going to expand Social Security benefits. This campaign is listening to young people. And what young people are telling me is, Bernie, we were told that it was the right thing to do to go to college or graduate school. You told us how important it is for us to get the best education we can. Why is it that when we leave school, we are $30,000 or $50,000 in debt. Anybody here with student debt? Oh, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, I want you to think outside of the box again. Think outside of the status quo. You all know that we live in a very competitive global economy. We need to have the best educated workforce in the world. And you all know that many of the new jobs being created today require a lot more education than the jobs of the past. Now, for a very long time, when we thought about public education, what we talked about was first grade through 12th grade. And that was great 50 years ago. But the world has changed, the economy has changed, technology has changed. In my view, when we talk about public education today, what we've got to be talking about is making public colleges and universities tuition free. This is not a radical idea, all right? The world has changed. Our educational system has to change with it. Other countries, and I know that you all know this, other countries, Germany, Scandinavia, they do that. They provide free college education because they know that investing in their young people is what will make their economy strong. And the other issue is that millions of people, some young and some not so young, are really being crushed with high levels of student debt. And what we have got to do is to say to those people, you will be able to refinance that debt at the lowest interest rates you can find. Now, I am criticized by the establishment, by my opponent. Bernie, this is a very expensive proposition. You want to have public colleges and universities tuition free. You want to significantly lower student debt. That's about $70 billion a year. That's a lot of money. How are you going to pay for it? I will tell you how we're going to pay for it. This is how we are going to pay for it. Remember 8 years ago, when the greed and recklessness and illegal behavior of Wall Street drove this economy into the worst economic downturn since the 1930s, Congress bailed out Wall Street. Well, it seems to me that now is the time to impose a tax on Wall Street speculation. The middle class of this country bailed out the crooks on Wall Street. Now it is Wall Street's time to help the middle class of this country. All right. This campaign is listening. This campaign is listening to our brothers and sisters in the Latino community. And what the Latino community is telling me is that they are tired of 11 million people, 11 million people in this country who are undocumented, who are living in the shadows, who are living in fear, who are living with a great deal of exploitation. And what the Latino community is telling me, that now is the time for comprehensive immigration reform and a path toward citizenship. Now, in a democracy, people can agree or disagree with immigration reform or anything else. But what people cannot do, what Donald Trump cannot do, is engage in bigotry, engage in vicious insults against our Mexican neighbors. That is not acceptable, and we will not tolerate it. And if Congress does not do its job, I will use the executive office and the powers of the presidency to do everything that I can to see that families are united, not separated. And our Department of Justice will take a very hard look at what Sheriff Arpaio and people like him are doing. I am the son of an immigrant. My father came from Poland, and he came to this country not knowing one word of English, so I have some experience with the immigrant family situation. I am tired of seeing young people with tears running down their cheeks, worried that their parents or their brother or their sister will be deported. We're going to put an end to deportations. This campaign is listening to our brothers and sisters in the Native American community. You know, there is no group of people in our country today who have contributed more to our culture, to our respect for the environment than have the Native American community. And I don't have to tell anybody here that from the first days of when the settlers came to this continent, they cheated the Native American people, they lied to the Native American people, they broke treaties with the Native American people, and today what we are seeing in community after community of Native Americans is outrageously high levels of unemployment, of poverty, of alcoholism, of suicide, of kids dropping out of high school. It is time for the United States government to treat the Native American tribes with respect and dignity. And that is what I will do as President of the United States. I am a member of the U.S. Senate Committee on the Environment. And let me tell you what virtually no Republican will tell you. And that is that the debate is over. Climate change is real. Climate change is caused by human activity, and climate change is already causing devastating problems in this country and around the world. And let me tell you what the scientists are also saying, and that is if we do not get our act together, if we do not transform our energy system away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency and sustainable energy, a bad situation today will become a lot worse. What the scientists tell us, if we do not act boldly, by the end of this century, this planet will be between 5 degrees to 10 degrees Fahrenheit warmer. That is catastrophic. And what that means is more drought, more floods, more extreme weather disturbances, more rising sea levels, more acidification of the oceans, and more international conflict as people fight for limited natural resources. And that is why together, we are going to stand up to the fossil fuel industry and tell them that their short-term profits are not worth the future of this planet. And by the way, while we are talking about environmental issues, we have got to end fracking. There was a piece in the paper the other day. It's not just Flint, Michigan that is suffering from severe water problems. It is hundreds and hundreds of communities all over America. Fracking will make that situation worse. End fracking. I have been criticized by my opponents for saying this, so let me say it again. And that is, health care is a right of all people, not a privilege. Now, the Affordable Care Act has done some very good things, but we have a long way to go. Today in America, 29 million Americans have no health insurance. Many of you are underinsured with high deductibles and co-payments. Is that right? And everyone in this country is being ripped off by the greed of the drug companies. Drug companies charge us the highest prices in the world for medicine, and the situation is so crazy that 1 out of 5 Americans cannot afford to fill the prescriptions their doctors write. That is crazy. And then on top of all of that, turns out that we are spending far, far more per capita for health care than any other country on earth. And that is why, in my view, we have got to move toward a Medicare for all healthcare system. Everybody here tonight knows that in our history as a nation, real change always takes place from the bottom on up, not from the top on down. Real change takes place when millions of people look around and say, the status quo is not working, it has got to change. Change took place 100 years ago when workers who were being treated as if they were animals said, we are going to form a union whether the employer likes it or not. Real change takes place when over the last hundreds of years, African Americans and their white allies said, racism and segregation and bigotry is not what this country is about. We're going to change it. A 100 years ago, women in America did not have the right to vote. But what women and their male allies said is that in America, women will not be treated as second-class citizens. And by the way, what they said is that women will be able to control their own bodies. Ten years ago, if there was somebody in this room who said, jumped up and said, you know, I think that gay marriage will be made legal in 50 states in this country by the year 2015, the person next to him would have said, what are you smoking? Which raises a whole other issue, but what happened? What happened is the gay community, against ferocious hatred and their straight allies, what they said is that in America, people should be allowed to love each other no matter what their gender is. That is how change takes place. And we are at that profound and pivotal moment in American history today, where millions of people are looking around them and they're saying, is it right that so few have so much and so many have so little? Is it right that the United States of America, this great country, is the only major country on earth that does not guarantee health care to all or paid family and medical leave? Is it right that when we have seen in recent years a proliferation of millionaires and billionaires, that we have today the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth? Is it right that in this nation, the men and women who defended us, our veterans, some of them are sleeping out on the streets? So what the American people are saying is we can do much better. And what the American people by the millions are understanding is you're not going to do much better if we go back to the same old establishment politics and establishment economics. Now, I am the only candidate for president who will tell you this truth. And it's not a happy truth, but it is the truth. And that is no president, not Bernie Sanders or anyone else, can do it alone. We need the people who have the power in this country, and that is Wall Street, who has endless amounts of money, corporate America, whose greed has done us so much damage, the corporate media, which determines what we see, hear, or read, wealthy campaign contributors, they have enormous power. The only way that we transform this country and take them on is when millions of people stand up and say, enough is enough. And that is what this political revolution is about. It is involving people, many of whom have given up on the political process, to get involved, to stand up, to fight back for justice. On Tuesday, there is going to be a very, very important primary here in Arizona. And let me tell you the political reality. Political reality is if there is a large vote, we will win. If there is a low voter turnout, we will lose. So please, on Tuesday, make sure that you, your friends, your family come out to vote. Let us see Arizona help lead political revolution. Thank you.
All right, everyone, that is a wrap on Bernie Sanders. I appreciate all of you who tweeted me at SamiaFox10, tweeting me your thoughts as to whether Bernie Sanders would beat Hillary Clinton this Tuesday in the Arizona primary. I appreciate it. I did retweet some of you. I'm trying to respond to as many of you guys as possible. I hope you enjoyed this live broadcast. We are going to have this clip in full on our YouTube channel. You can find it youtube.com/Fox10Phoenix. I appreciate you guys joining us throughout this evening, and I hope to hear from you guys again soon.